What's up? Welcome back to Nowstalgia. Dave here with a review of Dev Patel's directorial debut action thriller film Monkey Man. Of course, also starring Dev Patel. He co-wrote the movie as well. Produced by Jordan Peele's Monkey Paw. This premiered at South by Southwest and is out now. I like Monkey Man quite a bit. I think this is very easy to understand what the movie is on its surface. This is a revenge action thriller film. It is very grisly and violent, bloody, in your face. Doesn't really shy away from the darkness that centers around the movie and the action of it. And of course, it is very much coming in the post John Wick, post Chad Stahelski film world that we live in when it comes to action movies. And that is so clear that they actually make a reference to John Wick in the very beginning of this film, which I thought was pretty funny. I think what stands out most about Dev Patel's Monkey Man is that this is a action thriller film that has a lot of style. There's a lot of directorial flexing, a lot of directorial intent present in Monkey Man in terms of the techniques and the blocking and the lighting. It's very much invoking John Wick, so much so that the movie references it. But more than anything, Dev's interest in grounding a movie like this deeply in the culture of India, the society of India, and making this type of action movie that we know quite well. It's familiar. The plot won't surprise you. I think, cultural sensitivity in terms of giving some kind of comment on corruption in Indian society, I think is pretty interesting. And the movie, I think, feels really grounded in that reality, even while it's being a very over-the-top, ultra-violent, kick-ass movie. I think the fights really progress. There's a lot of shaky cam in the beginning, a lot of close-ups, but the last 30 minutes or so are incredibly propulsive, and I think the most fun aspect of the movie. I think if there's one thing to nitpick or note about Monkey Man, it's just that for a plot that won't surprise you, it's almost a bit overstuffed. There's a handful of villains, and none of them are fleshed out too much. I feel like there was kind of a lot packed in there as we just really rush through a lot of narrative momentum, where the movie doesn't really pause to take a breath, except for the moment when Dev's character, who's really unnamed throughout the movie, Dev's character has to take a break to literally heal his body and train and bulk up and stuff. But there's the guru fraud villain, as well as, of course, the corrupt police chief, and they're actually aligned with this politician, seeming like a right wing, almost like a Modi reference, who we don't actually meet in the movie, but he's also on screen. Of course, there's the restaurant club owner woman who we meet early on in the movie. There's just a lot of antagonistic forces there, and I don't know, we also, I think, spent a lot of time in the movie with flashback, really hammering home Dev's character's heartbreak in terms of losing his mother to this corrupt, system that, tore his village apart and, killed his mom and all that. And the revenge makes a lot of sense. I feel like we really hammer that home, but there's still a lot of flash. There's a lot of style. I mean, the Monkey Man title, the Monkey Man fights, where Dev puts on a monkey mask and fights in bare knuckle boxing MMA fights for money, and gets his ass kicked and loses intentionally. That scene, those scenes where I think are pretty awesome. They're super grisly, but the energy in the room with the crowd is done very well. Sharlto Copley excellently cast as the MC of that type of underground fighting ring. One of the best sequences in the movie is actually quite in the beginning, where Bobby orchestrates this purse snatching, and it's done with a guy pretending to be blind in a wheelchair, and there's this very propulsive handoff from all these couriers until it gets to Bobby's hands. And meanwhile, it's soundtrack to Jid's 151 Rum. That scene really ripped, for sure. I mean, the last 30 minutes, though, like I said, that's where, Bobby's all in a suit, a la John Wick, but he's, bulked up, he's strengthened, he just starts beating the shit out of people. And Dev Patel gets to show off the abs. He gets to show off the bulk that he put on. He looks great, obviously. He's still a slender guy, but he I think he sells it. I think he's pretty convincing as an action hero, especially in this context of how this movie works. I love the final fight with the police chief, where all the mirrors and the glass on the ceilings and the reflections, just a lot of Dev showing the directorial chops there. And even if I don't know if any of the action sequences are blow your mind away, we're not on John Wick level here, but there's still enough inspiration that it comes across as pretty great. And I think just in general, it speaks to the bar being raised for a movie like this in the post-Wick world, where like, you got to bring it to I think get people to invest. In terms of the cultural sensitivity and interest in this movie, I thought just the inclusion of the Hijira people in India, the exiled trans women, and having that community take in Dev and then actually help them helping back him up later on in the fights, like just to have that in a mainstream movie, I think says a lot. But it's actually done in a really convincing way because it's again within the fabric of what this movie's trying to say, at least a little bit about the society it's taking place within. So yeah, ultimately, I think Monkey Man is a pretty big success for Dev Patel, and I guess kind of the continuation of his acting turn in The Green Knight from David Lowery and A24, where Dev as a filmmaker, as an actor, clearly has leveled up and is demonstrating what his interests are in. And whether he continues to be a filmmaker moving forward or not, he's clearly just, I think, into like, meaningful projects. And I mean, The Green Knight was my number one movie of 2021. It's a high bar for me. But I think Monkey Man is definitely a great example of someone putting a stamp on their directorial talent. People will definitely be interested in working with him moving forward. And he remains a great actor and a compelling face, as we all know. So yeah, let me know, how did you feel about Dev Patel's Monkey Man? What did you think of it? And for more movie reviews, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.